My name is Stephen Ogol. I am a teacher. Teaching was my first profession, and currently I work in the NGO world, and I specialize in education research, but also I spend much of my time inspiring teachers, speaking to teachers, because a teacher is the only a person who prepares a product and becomes the final consumer of his product. And when you're a teacher, you must be aware that you are going to be the final consumer of your product. The way you prepare it, you will enjoy it later. And your model teacher becomes Christ himself, because one of the key identity of Jesus is a teacher. Therefore, your teaching has a background, and your senior mentor is Christ himself. Briefly, before I continue, like I told you, I am a teacher, but now I work in the NGO world. I coordinate in Uganda an organization called Creation Ambassadors of Uganda. I am also a businessman and a real estate developer. I got encouraged to expand the scope of my earning based on what we see in the world today. And before I continue, I would love to encourage you teachers. You know, teaching as a profession, you have some free time. So you have some free time, you have holidays, sometimes a month, sometimes even 2 months. And in this, I would love to encourage you, do not only be a teacher in a classroom, but be a teacher even at home. Be a teacher even in the village, because teaching is the only wide profession whereby your concept can be applied anywhere. So when you are teaching, don't only teach in class. You stop at the SST level, at the science level, but you must go an extra mile that your character may model the people that see you. Because usually, for a doctor cannot make news easily, but a teacher makes news very fast. Moreover, a teacher. Moreover, what? A teacher. So you make news so easily. I want to encourage you, even as we continue, before I present on my topic, I want to challenge you, dear teachers, teach at all aspects. Be a teacher always and everywhere. Let people not, for the students or for the people you teach, they can easily get your concepts from class. But remember, even us outside, we know you as a teacher. What can we learn from you? What can we learn from your life as a teacher? Because the pupils can learn SST, can learn English. What about us who are outside? We know you as a teacher. What are you teaching us? And this basically comes to your lifestyle as a teacher. It's more important than the subject you teach. Tell your neighbor, your lifestyle is more than the subject you teach. And once you're a teacher, you don't expire. You become a teacher once and forever. This is very beautiful, and I thank you for choosing this. I am going to give a presentation teaching as a calling and a profession. Teaching as a calling signifies that it is not just a job for earning, but a deeper personal mission where individuals feel driven to educate and positively impact others, often with a strong sense of purpose and passion. As a teacher, this is your core mission. May not be merely a job like someone may imagine, but it is a deeper personal mission where you feel driven to educate and positively impact others, often with a strong sense of purpose and passion. That's why I said in the beginning that as a teacher, your lifestyle is more important than the subject you teach. Because for you to bring out purpose in someone young, then your life must be a purpose-driven life. Any teacher without a purpose prepares children or citizens of no value and no purpose. Therefore, the purpose begins coming from you, the mentor. If you have a purpose, we are able as learners to copy from you. If you have a mission, we are able to identify it from you. And Christ, being our model teacher, must give us a direction of our professionalism. But of course, as a teacher, we must agree that all people are teachers, whether they have gone to school or not. Our mothers are teachers. Our parents, our fathers are teachers. Our relatives are teachers. Our elders also are teachers. Therefore, yours becomes a unique calling. A calling with no excuse of impacting quality and positively the people you train. Why is yours a unique one? You went to school and you were taught to become a professional. All other people can teach without a lesson plan. Sit well at home. Do you need a lesson plan to tell your child, sit well? Don't eat like that. Don't talk while eating. You don't need a lesson plan. But yours becomes more complex because you have been trained. You have gone through a course of teaching. And in this, if you were to be judged as a teacher, your punishment will be more heavier if you don't impact the community. Your punishment will be more heavier because you are a double trained teacher. A teacher by calling, also a teacher by profession. This therefore challenges you and me to have no time to relax, but rather to spend all the rest of our lives doing what matters and also showing direction to the country, because you are a nation is. I love the people who came up with that motto. Teaching as a professional refers to the structured, trained aspect of the role, which requires specific skills and qualifications to deliver effective instructions in a classroom setting. Essentially, someone can view teaching as both a personal calling and a professional pursuit, finding fulfillment in the act of educating while also adhering to the professional standards. As you are teaching, do you know that your destiny is in heaven? Before you forget, I want to remind you, as you are teaching, take it as the only ticket that might earn you eternal life. Let your teaching be a ticket. In case God asks you, why must I give you heaven? Just raise up your hand and say, I have been a teacher, I spent the rest of my life teaching. But also, the question is, you are spending the rest of your life teaching what? Teaching what? Besides the mathematics, besides the geography, besides all the subjects, You are spending the rest of your life teaching what? And what's beautiful is, in every staff room, there is usually a teaching timetable. Meaning, there is also a time that you may not be meant to teach the particular subject that you teach. And therefore, as a double trained person, you have a key responsibility to play. And I also want to tell you that the standards of our country are largely determined by the quality of teachers that we have. The lifestyle of the people in Uganda is largely determined by the type of a teacher who imparts knowledge. The risks that Uganda may go through in the next 50 years will be largely determined by how you are preparing the learners today, which I am going deep into sharing. Teaching was and is still an authentic identity of Christ. Why? There is a deep desire to help others learn and grow. Teaching requires you to have a deeper desire to help others learn and grow. It is only in teaching where you don't reserve some skills for yourself. Mechanics may try, say that they are consulting, not so. Doctors may try, say that they become consultants, but in teaching you are supposed to give your all, say that people who learn from you may become better. And the only professional who is not jealous of his knowledge is a teacher. You give your all, and you want them to understand the all you have given. And when your learners become great people, you shake the collar and say, wow, I taught that guy. I was his teacher. You identify. But usually, if, in other professions, I don't hear a policeman saying, wow, I arrested that man. I don't know. Probably it happens, but I have never heard myself. But teachers do say, wow, I taught that girl. She is now a doctor. That's why it's important for you to give your all without reservation. Because, of course, there are also teachers sometimes, when they are presenting a concept, they begin by saying, but you think mathematics is for everybody? This topic in particular is not for everybody. Not for you teachers. Other people can brag like that. But for you, you must have a deeper desire. Your joy is seeing your learners understand. Your joy is seeing your learners pass. Your joy is seeing your learners become great people. This is your joy. I would say this is your medal. This is your medal, seeing your learners great people. There must be, as a teacher, a strong feeling and a sense of responsibility towards your students. For the case of a teacher, we don't need to hear you say, after all, my salary will come. No, not for a teacher. I remember in my A-level, we used to have a very senior physics teacher. I was doing physics. And sometimes he comes in the class, and then actually 3/4 of his lesson, he talks about how great he is. How schools are longing to take up him. 3/4 of the lesson. By the way, you people, I married a graduate. We sleep on the same bed, 2 degrees. This is telling the students. And he's doing all this when his leg is on the chair. People are jealous of me because we are the only ones in our house to graduate. This is irrelevant. Not so. This is irrelevant. You must have a strong sense of responsibility. Sometimes you could say, even if you want to report to me, you report to me. After my salary will come. Do you think this person had a deeper sense of responsibility towards the students. As a teacher, you must have a deeper feeling and sense of responsibility towards your students. A good teacher asks, why haven't you understood? I want us to cover the lesson we missed. But a teacher who is not called into this says, after all, my salary will come. Whether you have understood, I'm not your father. I think you have ever heard this from teachers. Probably one of you could have mentioned this due to anger. But I will tell you why. In case you mentioned, I will tell you later on why you mentioned it. Your problem is not the learner, but your problem is hidden somewhere. I will share it later. Today, world over, schools that are highly performing, both Christian founded and non-Christian founded, are now competing for grades. Parents are on the stress to look for which school had the best grades last year. Teachers are being given a double stress. You have family stress, there's school stress. I want to thank and honor teachers in the private sector. May God see you through. I salute you. Directors are not here to chase your teachers, but I'm sharing the reality.